Nothing's wrong with that 10 seconds itself. The part is genuinely impressive. No doubt about it. What I'd like to ask you to notice is what had to be skipped to make 10 seconds possible. A real learning plan, the kind that actually changes how you think or act, normally takes time to build because it requires someone to know the important things about you, like what you are avoiding, what's actually weak versus just be weak because nobody's ever given you honest feedback, what your week looks like by Friday evening, what you're quietly afraid of and have been afraid of showing out. None of that exists in a prompt box. So the AI didn't skip the hard part because it's lazy or incompetent. It skipped the hard part because that information was never there for it to use in the first place. They are holding something polished, structured, and confident sounding. Week by week milestone, a list of resources, some practice tasks, a reading list, sometimes even an encouraging line at the end, It generally looks like a plan. A good mentor might hand you with that kind of plan. So everything is perfect, but it doesn't know your full context and your struggle. It can sequence content, but it cannot align that sequence with your emotional readiness or your constraints or your sense of purpose. It doesn't know whether your real issue is skill, confidence, feedback, fear, fatigue, or the pressure of a working week that already feels full. It can offer something that resembles assessment, but it cannot tell you what you are avoiding and what kind of change would actually matter to you 12 months from now. So you end up with a plan that's been built for a learner like you, but just not for you yet specifically. I want you to be cautious if you are using AI to generate your learning plan. As a matter of fact, all types of plans. The gap is small on screen when you look at it, but huge in real life. This is the part that I think people underestimate the most. Many learners misdiagnose themselves before they ever open an AI tool. They think they need more information when what they actually need is practice. They think they are lacking discipline when what they are actually lacking is timely quality feedback. They think they need confidence when what they really need is safer first experiment to try, which is reversible in case anything goes wrong. Now, here's the problem. If your diagnosis going in is shallow, the AI doesn't correct it. It accelerates it. You hand it the wrong problem and it hands you back a beautifully organized plan for solving the wrong problem. 10 times faster than you could have built it yourself, I guarantee. That's why speed can feel helpful while quietly making the real problem harder to see for every one of us. So speed isn't neutral here. Speed without honest self-diagnosis just means you get to the wrong destination faster and worse with more confidence that you're on the right road. Before you shoot your question to AI and ask it for a plan, the better question is much less glamorous. You should ask, what am I actually trying to change here? This is a question you need to ask, and we need to ask, in fact, ourselves more often than we do now. I like to ask them to take 5 honest minutes and write one sentence before they open the AI tool. The real thing I'm trying to change is, that's the state, not the topic I want to study, not the course I think I should take. The change. That sounds simple, but it's where a lot of adult learners get exposed, including myself before my realization. You might start by writing, I want to learn leadership, but then realize the real change is that you need to handle difficult conversation without avoiding them. So it is the avoiding that you need to solve, not the lack of skill. It is very trendy these days for people to want to improve their AI skills. So they write, I want to learn AI. But the real change is that they need to redesign their work, decision, or even communication. Once that sentence is honest, AI becomes much more useful. Then it can help you explore pathways, practice scenarios, or even ask better questions. And the most precious one is pressure test our own assumption. But if that sentence is vague or borrowed from someone else's ambition, the plan will probably be vague too, even if it looks impressive to you and to everybody. You are absolutely right. Generic advice has always existed, yes. But the difference now is how quickly generic advice can become a complete looking perfect system. In the past, you have to work harder to gather resources, which created at least some friction before you committed to a direction. Now the plan arrives before the initial fraction. That's the new problem. We have more content than execution, more summaries than the time to digest, more learning options than committed direction. AI did not create the problem of shadow self-analysis. It just made the consequences much faster and created more wasteful effort and unrecoverable time loss. No, absolutely not. And I want to be careful here because that's not the argument at all. Used well, AI can become a genuinely powerful learning partner. It can personalize examples, suggest resources, stimulate feedback, help you practice in a way that was difficult to imagine a generation ago. The value of AI is greatest when it's embedded inside a deliberate self-curriculum that you have already taken responsibility for designing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wrote the self-curriculum not as an anti-AI book, but as a way to put human judgment back in the right place. Before the tools, before the plan, before the next burst of content. Without that architecture sitting underneath it, AI just makes passive learning faster. So the tool isn't the problem. The order of operation is the real problem. Diagnosis first, AI second, not the other way around. I want them to pause for 5 honest minutes before they type anything at all at the prompt box. Ask yourself what you are actually avoiding. Ask yourself whether the thing you think is weak is genuinely weak or just untested. Ask yourself what's really going to be true about your Friday evening 3 weeks from now. Not the version of your week that exists only when you are motivated on a Sunday. Then finish this sentence. The real thing I'm trying to change is XYZ. The real thing I'm trying to change is XYZ. AI can hand you a plan in 10 seconds. It cannot hand you the diagnosis that plan should have been built on. That part doesn't get automated. That part is still yours to do. If that distinction matters to you, the self-curriculum goes much deeper into how to diagnose your own learning before you decide the plan. Get a copy if it helps you to avoid walking down the wrong path.